Hey guys, Heavy here. In today's video, we're going to be surviving 100 days in Vanilla Plus Minecraft. Now you might be asking, what is Vanilla Plus Minecraft? Well, it's a custom mod pack made by myself, but there's a few things that I want to get done in these 100 days. First, I'd like to defeat the Ender Dragon. I'd also like to get a platypus for the sole reason of naming it Perry. If you don't know who Perry is, well, all I have to say is just wow. Either way, my final goal is to cook every single recipe for the Farmer's Delight mod. But I'll stop talking now and let's get right into the video. On day one, I started off by doing the normal thing like punching some trees. Then I made a crafting table, made a wooden pickaxe, and got mining. Then I started crafting a few stone pickaxes, stone axes, stone shovels, and stone swords. Then I cut down a few more trees using these new mechanics. Soon I found a village, which I looted and pillaged. I took all the hay bales because I needed a new food source. Grabbed a few rice things, some strawberries, some pancakes, and I got some potatoes. Then I'm heading it back to the place where I spawned and started mining some more trees. When I got back, I decided to put my stuff down right over here. Took my first sleep, and I was done for day one. Day two, I went down into the mines. I started doing a little bit more mining, found some copper and coal, and started off doing a little bit of mining there. Then I started going down deeper, and eventually I ran into this lush cave, which was introduced in the 1.17 update. Made some torches so I could light up the area a little bit more. I found a chest and it was only filled with a bunch of fish, which was kind of weird. Anyways, I got some more iron. And then I had a little bit of a panic moment with the skeleton. I started smelting the iron so I could make some tools, made an iron pickaxe, and then I took my second sleep. Then I found my first diamond, which was pretty nice. It was a 4 vein of diamonds, which isn't bad. And it was just built into a deep slate vein. Then I found some lapis, which I would use further for enchanting later. Then I quickly made my first diamond pickaxe, which is pretty cool. Found some more diamonds. And then I went back up. And I slept after a hard day of mining. And on day 5, I pretty much crafted up diamond gear with like diamond saber, diamond axe, and a few other iron things. But the shortage, like recording, whatever, shorted out, so I can't like show that. Then I got started on day 5, and I went back to sleep. Day 6, I started building some animal pens. I wanted to build some cow pens first, so I can get some leather, get started on some early enchantments. These pens weren't the best, but they would do for now. Then I brought my cows in, and I sealed them up. Eventually, I found this new biome with bone structures littered all over it. Then I found some kangaroos, and I read in there that you need 15 carrots to tame them, so I just started farming a bit of that stuff. And then I started feeding. And eventually, I got a couple kangaroos that were my best friends. In total, I tamed about 4 kangaroos. Then I found these guys, but with the help of my kangaroos, I started beating them up. Eventually, I made it back home and slept. Then I checked my animal dictionary and looked at the kangaroos again. Eventually, I could see that they could put a melee weapon and armor. So I put some iron swords in my kangaroo friends' pouches. And as you can see, they had some swords. I also put some iron helmets in there just to get them a little bit better. Then I realized I needed a place for them to live, so I decided, why not build like a little kangaroo pen? I had a few hay bales, and I lured them in here. And look at him, he has a little jockey or Joey, whatever the baby kangaroos are. And then I started dipping some roots, I guess, into the vines. I just got some rice and stuff like that. Then I wanted to start making some more food, so I started off by getting a stove. Then I made an empty cooking pot. Placed that above it, and dinner served. Then I started cooking up the rice for a nice little snack. Then I took the rice out, and I was good. Then I found these platypuses, which helped me out with my second goal. Then I found this really weird structure, which was, like, guess, a, like, updated witch hut. Ended up murdering the witch inside of it. Checked the chest. There wasn't really much. I just took the fermented spider rice. Then I found the huge tree, so I mined the entire thing, and it dropped, like, a couple stacks of wood. Found some more spruce wood, which I would use later for making my house. Then I started up building my house. Then I found this wandering trader. I decided to murder him, and he dropped something. He dropped a wandering bag. So I right-clicked it, and look at that. I got a new sword called the Sword from Elsewhere. This thing does area damage, which is really nice for me. And finally, my house was done, and it looked amazing, I have to say. It's even got some chairs upstairs. Then I put down my bed and took my first night's sleep in my house. I made some new grilled salmon, which was a really good food source. It gave me this thing called nourishment. Then I started going down into the mines and started mining some obsidian. I got a lot of this stuff because it would be used to make a portal. Then I got started on building the portal frame, and boom. Lit the portal, and then I went inside. My nether spawn was definitely not good. That's the thing. So I went over and tried to do a little bit of quartz mining around the place, and I didn't really get that much, but it was enough to get me started. Then I went back into the portal because I was quite scared. Then I went to sleep. The next day I started doing a little bit more of the building. Then I bred the cows quite a bit more. Brought some new pigs in, and yeah. Bred those guys up. Then I made some more books. Finally, I had a decent amount of enchanting books. I plopped that guy up. I found a wandering trader who said he would trade me a sombrero for 20 emeralds. So, I went over to my local village, and I started doing a little bit of trading. Then I went home, and I bought that sombrero. And look at me, I look pretty fancy, honestly. Then I murdered him anyways to see if he would get me any more loot. And he did. He dropped this really cool, like, hammer thing that would spawn an evoker fang, which is pretty cool. Then I murdered a bunch more cows in hopes of getting a lot more leather, and I actually did. I got a ton more leather, which I built some more bookshelves, just like that. Then I went to sleep on the 28th day. Day 29, I started doing a little bit more mining for some more obsidian so I could make an enchantment table. Then I built back up, and I crafted the enchantment table. Boom, there it goes. And I did a few little base level enchantments. I didn't really get too much though, so I made some grindstones, disenchanted it, and eventually I got Fortune 3, which would be very necessary in building. I did a little bit more tree growing so I could trade with the villagers, get some more XP, and eventually trade up my levels. Then I did a little bit more trading with the villagers. And eventually he leveled up so he would give me these crossbows, diamond tier 2. Diamond tier bows and crossbows. So I bought a few of those and tried them out. Eventually I got back home and I had 30 levels. I enchanted with Fortune 3. And then I slept. Day 31 I decided to go back into the mines and see if I could get some more diamonds. I did get some more diamonds right here, as you can see. Then I went to the anvil, healed it up a little bit so I could get some more. Found some more even. Then I found some more. And more. And even more. Then I found this really, really weird chest. I was just searching around, and this big guy came up, and he scared the life out of me too. But he had a lot of health, and I was terrified, so I waited out, and I killed him. Then I decided to do a little bit more trading to see if I get some more XP and emeralds. I did a little bit more enchanting to see what I can get, and I ended up getting an amazing pickaxe right there. Did a little bit more trading myself. And then I headed home. I tried to enchant my sword, or like whatever, a sword from elsewhere, and I got some really good enchantments. Sharpness 3 and Unbreaking 3. Then I enchanted my diamond axe, and I got efficiency 4. Then I bought some emeralds from this cleric, which I would use later for the dragon fight. I decided to go back into the portal and see if I could get some blaze rods. I threw an ender pearl, and I landed down here. Eventually, I came across this fortress, and I found a blaze spawner. After much gathering, I ended up getting about, it was 12 blaze rods, yeah. Then I went back into the overworld because I was scared, and I started decorating my nether portal. And as you can see from the title, I started on my journey to the end. I wanted to defeat the Ender Dragon pretty early so I could get some more books, as well as get some XP. And Elytra was definitely a necessity too. I ended up finding this bee, and I got terrified when I fell down this hole. Eventually, I picked the bee nest up, and I had total bee location. Did a little bit of swimming, and before I found this beautiful, what would you call this? Northern Lights, yeah. And then eventually I started digging down, and I found this fortress. Or no, stronghold, yeah. And then I found the end room. And I won't talk in this, I'll just let it play out. As I swiftly brought down the Ender Dragon, I went through the remote getaway portal, and I was terrified. I was just genuinely terrified because if I had moved one more block, I would have fallen right off the edge. I ended up going right back into the portal, and I went back home. Then I had to do a little funky business here before I went back, and then I was home. When I got home, I enchanted my sombrero with Fire Protection 4, which is kind of cool. I mean, I got to enchant my sombrero. Who else? What else could you ask for? Then I took a little sleep on day 40. Then I enchanted my sword again with Unbreaking 3 and Sharpness 4. Then I started doing a little bit more work on my base. I started adding a few more paths to the area. Then I had a little bit more stuff around here. Then I bred the pigs a little bit more. And this was depressing. When I was shooting a creeper, I accidentally shot kangaroo number 2. So I made him a little grave, and rest in peace, buddy. Anyways, I went back into the end because I wanted to get an Elytra. So I went into the end gateway, and yeah. I ended up doing a little bit of scary bridging here, and I found this really, really weird biome. It was like this purpley end biome. It really blends well with the end, though. And I walked around here for a little while, and I found this Enderman who was using hacks. Eventually, I came across an end city. However, it did not have any ship. So I just looted it, and I came across an opponent with a sombrero. This guy literally just mimicked my abilities. He had he had the same exact sword, same exact armor, and he was pretty difficult to beat, to be honest. Then I got into the death room, which is the shulker room, the big one, and it's just straight up terrifying. Then I use an ender pearl, risky ender pearl, I will say. Eventually, I came across an end city with an end ship, thank God. I builded. Wow, I am good at English. I built up to the end ship, and I found myself a little bit of a nice little grotto of goods I have here. I took some potions, and I killed the shulker right next to the Elytra. I yoinked that Elytra, and yeah, I had sky's the limit. Checked the chests, and there was not really much. There was a cloud in a bottle. Now, this will come in useful very much later, because this gives me, like, a boost when I'm, like, electrifying. But I took my first jump, and look at that. Beautiful. I did a little bit more end raiding, and nothing too much. I got, like, a cool Mr. Jub thing, whatever. And I don't really know if it's copyrighted, so I'm not going to play it. Eventually, I made it back home, going through the end gateway. And then I slept on day 48. Then I did a little more trading with the villagers, and I got Unbreaking 3. Put that on my Elytra, and I was good to go. I made this thing called the Purper Altar. And when I placed it down, the villager gained a profession as the end raider or something like that. I did a little bit more trading to see what all of his trades were. And yeah, that took a while. But I ended up getting some Phantom Membrane, which I could heal my Elytra up with, which was really nice. Then he actually ended up trading rockets, which is insane. Which is amazing for a villager. I bought some globes off this guy. I don't know what they do really. They're just kind of something useful. Then I killed the guy, and I got the Wandering Bag again. And he actually dropped this weird bucket thing. He, like, I think it, like, stores experience. And then I started doing a little bit more trading. Got my Elytra buffed up again. Did a little bit more end city raiding. Not too much, though, because I didn't really need that much stuff. I just decided, why not? Get some spare Elytras just in case mine kind of got thrown in lava. Yoink. There's my second Elytra now. And I opened up this next chest, nothing really, but I came across these guys once again, and he actually dropped Mimicream, which I don't know what that's going to do. Hopefully, maybe in 200 days, if I end up doing that, it will play out, and I'll, like, you know, see what that is. Anyways, on day 53, I decided to do a little bit more trading. I really wanted to get Mending, but to no avail. Then on day 55, yeah, 55, I decided to do a little bit of grinding for a project that I would be later using, which is Hell Shelves. Now, Hell Shelves are really good enchantment bookshelves, which they are a bit good. They're a bit OP, but, you know. I ended up putting some water bottles in here, brewing a lot of stuff because it needs a lot of stuff. Regen potions. And yeah, there we go. I placed them down, as you can see right here. And then I slept real quick. And then I realized that the mod that added the hell shelves or shelves was really overpowered. So I ended up removing the mod along with the shelves as well. Then on day 59, I decided I wanted to do a little bit of adventuring. And I found these really cool, like, little tiki guys. So I killed them, of course. What else would I do? And they kind of took me somewhere I did not expect. He ended up giving me this really weird mask. Mask of Rage. I looked really weird. But I ended up fighting this boss, and yeah, I'll let it just play out again. And as you can see, I killed him, and I got this really weird mask. But when I threw down the other, like, Tiki Soldier masks, they would spawn custom little minions of mine that would... I think they would, like, fight mobs or something like that. Then, on day 65, I did a little bit more villager trading, and I eventually got mending, which was pretty cool. So I got mending, went home, and I eventually put it on my Elytra. Yep, put it on my Elytra here. It was 17 levels, though, which is a bit ridiculous. And then I eventually got to cutting around a few trees, and I wanted to, like, clear out my base a little bit, make it a little bit more plains, feel like. I ended up making a few, like, little enclosures here. I made, like, a lavender enclosure, which is, like, a flower, I think. Eventually, I got around to making some farm enclosures, which I put, like, potatoes, tomatoes, onions, stuff like that in there. Then I had to go out to get some more potatoes, you know, like cabbage, beetroot, stuff like that to put in there, because I didn't really have any of that. And, when I came back, I accidentally started a raid, so, yeah. And eventually, I had won the raid. However, this was a loss but a success. All of the villagers were dead, but I had gained the hero of the village. On day 73, I decided to do a little bit more planting crops, becoming a farmer, doing a little bit more of the Stardew Valley lifestyle. Eventually, I put a little bit of a tree sapling inside the lavender enclosure, put a few more trees in it to make it feel a little more lively. And then I memorialized Kangaroo number 2's grave. Then I slept on day number 76. And then on day 77, I decided to do a little bit of vinage, if you will, making some vines on this giant wall we have over here. And I put a little park bench over here, added some more details on top of the mountain, added a few more details on the path, and then I built up a little bit of a cliff over here with tough cobblestone and even deep slate. Then I put Perry out of his bucket, named him Perry, and he was blue. This was very epic. And then, as it says, I went to a bastion, so yeah, I'll let it play out again. Then I went home, and on the way home, I found a little jungle, stopped by, got some melons for future uses, and then I was home. Then I made some melon popsicles, starting the goal of getting all the Farmer's Delight foods. Eventually, I made some barrels showing which Farmer's Delight foods I had made and all of them. Then I made some hot cocoa, which would remove, I guess, one negative effect or something like that. Then I made a sweet berry cheesecake, which looked beautiful. Chocolate pie, put that up there. And I made some sweet berry cookies. And I put all of those things inside those barrels right there. Then I got started digging out a little bit of an area inside the mountain. This area would be later used for a little bit of create stuff, because I wanted to make some automatic honey things. And I started putting down some cogwheels, which would be speeding up the things of create, basically. I could make an entire video on how this thing works, but it's kind of complicated in a way, so I won't really go too much in depth. But I made a mechanical mixer, which would be later used for making brass, which I didn't really end up using. I will say, I didn't really end up using the brass. I don't know why I made it, but it was made, which is pretty cool. Then I made a blaze burner, went over to the fortress, got a blaze, put it under the basin. And then I put the copper and zinc in between, and it made the brass. Yeah, the brass. Eventually, the brass was done, and it made me 64 brass ingots, which was not too bad. Eventually, I started connecting up some of the copper pipes, and I made like a little reservoir for where the bee stuff would come in, and these guys attacked me, which was very rude of them. Eventually, the pipe was connected up here, and I made it so it was like see-through, and look at that. So satisfying. Eventually, it was starting to pump into the reservoir. Then I made a spout, put it over there, and hooked it up. Made a fruit salad, and much cooking later, I had finally gotten all of them. Right here. Then I moved on to fighting the Frostmaw. Now, the Frostmaw was another boss I'd like to get done. So I said bye to my animals, and it was day 99. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. please remember to subscribe because this video took way too long to make. It took me about like 50 hours total. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you another time. Goodbye.